Okay, welcome back. See here, in our previous classes we have discussed 5 properties. Okay, so properties of determinants. We have discussed 5 properties of determinants. Let us continue the remaining properties in this class. See, this is the continued part of our previous class. See, sixth property. So what is the sixth property says? Let us read the statement here. If to each element of any row or column of a determinant, the equimultiples of corresponding elements of other row are added. See this, up to this, we can treat that as a one statement. If this happens, then what will happen to the value of the determinant? That is the property here. So what it says, if to each element of any row or column of a determinant, the equimultiples of corresponding elements of other row are added, then value of the determinant remains same. So you can understand it only by taking the example here. So what this property says, I will consider one determinant here. See A1, okay, general determinant we know here, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. Okay, this is the normal determinant. So we have taken in our previous properties to prove. See, this is my determinant. See what the property says. If I apply the transformation on this determinant, see, if to each element of any, we select any row or any column. So I have to operate on any row or any column. The equimultiples of corresponding elements of other row are added. Okay, then the value, it makes no difference at all. Value of that determinant will also be same as this determinant. That means, see, if I operate on first row, you can select any row or column. So if I take first row, see, as we done in elementary transformations on matrices, same thing can be done to the determinant here. See, R1 changes to, so see, if I add the elements of first row, see, if I add the elements of first row to the corresponding elements of, say, third row, before adding to the corresponding elements of third row, I will multiply all the elements of third row by some scalar, say k. See, k are 3. See, corresponding elements of first row have been added to corresponding elements of third row, and before that I have multiplied all the elements of third row by k. So then I get another determinant. So what will be the determinant? Then, see, delta 1 is equal to, so we know this. See, I am applying on first row. So second row and third row will remain same here. C1, C2, C3. Okay. See, R1 plus some scalar into R3. So that means, so R1 is, what is this here? A1. See, first element is A1 plus. So I am taking the scalar K. Corresponding element for A1 in third row is C1. That is KC1. So the first element will be what? A1 plus KC1. Then similarly, second element, corresponding element for this is C2. So that is A2 plus K into corresponding element, that is KC2. Then last element is A3 plus KC3. Okay. So then I got here 2 determinants. One is delta. Afterwards, I am applying this operation on this determinant. Then I got this determinant. So here the point is, see, this property says value of this delta will be equal to delta 1. So according to the property, delta z, we not put it, the property says even though after applying all these operations, this value will not change. This value, this will be equal to this determinant, value of this determinant. So both the values of these determinants will be equal. That is the property. Okay. So the meaning is this one. See, the equimultiples of corresponding elements of other row are added. See, I have added R1 and R3. Before adding, I multiplied the elements of third row by some other constant. I got this determinant. So if I expand this determinant, then that determinant and this determinant both will be equal. See, then the value of the determinant remains same. It will not change. Okay, let us verify that. Okay, so R1 changes to this one. So I will expand this determinant. So what happens here? Okay, let us expand this delta 1. So I can take this along first row here, C plus minus plus. So I will write this here. That is equal to. Okay, let me read the statement here. See, then the equi-multiples of corresponding elements of other row are added, then the value of the determinant remains same. So value of this determinant is equal to value of this determinant. Delta is equal to delta 1. So what we have to prove here is, so as I told earlier, we have to show that, or we have to prove that delta is equal to delta 1. So that I will do it here. Okay, so I will write the steps here. See here. So delta is equal to delta 1. So let us expand this determinant. So plus minus plus. So I will expand this determinant. Okay, delta 1. So let's see what will be the list. See A1 plus along first row. So I am going to expand along first row. A1 plus KC1. Okay. A1 plus K. So we can expand this here. So you leave this column and this row, then we can write the elements also. So we have in this tree we have proved some of the properties here. So what was our fifth property? See, we have to remember the previous properties. See here, fifth property was, what is the fifth property here? See here, first row is a sum of two elements. Okay, so if the determinant contains sum of two elements, then that determinant can be written as sum of two determinants. This was our previous class or previous property. Okay, we can use that property. So let me write this by previous property. So we can write this as see this delta 1. So we need not expand here. See, apply the property here. So this determinant can be written as a sum of two determinants. I can write this as here one determinant and this is another determinant. Okay, in the first row I will get A1, A2, A3. So this is by I think by fifth property. So I am using fifth property for this determinant. Then B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. Okay, then see this sum of two terms. See, second term I have KC1, KC2, KC3. So that I will write here. KC1, KC2, KC3, then B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. Okay, this is the application of our fifth property. So if the determinant is like this, it can be written as a sum of two determinants. Okay, so I will continue here. So this whole thing is nothing but, see in the left hand side I have delta 1. This is the original determinant delta. So this is the delta we have considered here. So plus, so I write plus here. See here I can see here I can take k common from second determinant. So I will take k outside. So what I will get k into C1, C2, C3, then B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. See here in this determinant, once again we are observing that here first row and third row. See R1 is equal to R3. So what is the property? One of the properties says if any two rows or columns of a determinant are equal, then value of the determinant is 0. So what will I can write in the next step plus. So what is the value of this determinant? This determinant is 0. So I will get delta plus k into 0, 0. So delta plus 0, see it will be like, see delta 1. See our, after operating I got delta 1, that is equal to, what is this? Delta. So value will not change. So this is the sixth property. So in this way we can verify the fifth property. So you read the statement carefully and you can verify this. Okay, so value of both the determinants will be same. Okay, sixth property is completed. See here, to prove this sixth property, I have applied or I have taken the help of previous properties. Okay, we are applied both the properties. So next, so we can go for next property. See if all the elements of any row or column of a determinant are 0, then value of the determinant is 0. So you can put the inverted comma here. So if all the elements of any row or columns of a determinant are 0, then value of the determinant is, that will be 0. So this is a very simple property. See, read the statement here. If all the elements of any row or column of a determinant are 0, then value of the determinant will be 0. Okay, let us consider the determinant here. See, if the determinant is like this, see here, I will write the, see, 0, 0, 0, say here this one. Then I will write C B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. See here, observe here. What the property says, if all the elements of any row or column, so here, see, you are observing that here elements of first row are zeros. Okay, see here, first row, all the elements, here I am saying that all the elements are 0, then property says value of the determinant is 0. We need not expand that, we can directly write it 0. See whether it becomes 0 or not. So let us expand this. See, very simple here. Here all the elements are 0, so 0 into this will be 0, minus 0 into anything, that will be 0, plus 0 into anything, that will be 0. So automatically we can easily observe that the value of the delta will be 0, value of the determinant will be 0. Okay, so we need not worry anything about this. See, if all the elements of any row or column are 0, then value will be 0. So this automatically the theorem proves here. See, if determinant is, see, it's like this here, okay, then B1, say B2, B3, C1, C2, C3, see, determinant is like this. What is the value here? See, property says all the elements of any row or column, see here, in the first column, see, C1, in the first column all the elements are 0, so directly we can write the value as 0. So, see here, we can expand along first column here, see, plus, minus, plus, if we expand along first column, 0 into, so that will be 0. So otherwise, see, we can do like this also. So 0 into 0, so I will leave this element, see, B1, see, you leave this column and this, so 0 into C3, 0, 0 minus 0, that will be 0. Then plus C1 into, see, you leave this column and this row, 0 into B3, that will be 0, minus B2 into 0, that will be 0. So this is 0 and this is 0, then the whole thing will be 0. So the point to remember is, if in a determinant we get such kind of situation where all the elements in a row or columns are 0, then the value of the determinant is 0. So one of the very simple properties you can remember. Okay. Okay, let us come to the last property. Okay. So 8th property. So what is the 8th property? If all the elements, see, observe the statement, if all the elements on one side, if all the elements on one side of the principal diagonal, one side of the principal diagonal, one side of the principal diagonal of a determinant are 0, principal diagonal are zeros, then value of the determinant is, is equal to, see, equal to the product of the principal diagonal, product of the principal diagonal elements. See, I will explain the meaning here. First you observe the statement here. So it's a very, very important property. If you remember this, we can simplify the determinant in a very simple way. So if all the elements on, see, one side of the principal diagonal of a determinant are 0, if we make all the elements on one side of the principal diagonal zeros, then we need not expand the determinant. The value of the determinant will be equal to product of the principal diagonal elements. See, for example, So what is the property says? So if the determinant, see if the determinant is, okay, so we'll write here. See normally we will write it as A1, A2, A3, see B in our previous properties we have taken like this, okay. So see here, this property says if all the elements on one side of principal diagonal, see principal diagonal, see we consider this from left top corner to right bottom corner, we call it as principal diagonal elements, okay, A1, B1, C2. So property says if all the elements on one side of the principal diagonal of a determinant are zeros, see either upper side or lower side. Principal diagonal elements are these, either upper half or lower half. See I will make any one, see I will take these elements as 0. Say this is 0, say, see here, on one side of the principal diagonal elements are 0, see here I have written these three elements as 0, or we can take these three also 0, okay. I have taken these three elements as 0, then what the property says, then value of the determinant is equal to product of the principal diagonal elements, see product of the principal diagonal elements. So what will be the value, see without expansion, if determinant is like this, you can easily write the answer as A1, B2, C3, see A1, B2, C3. So this is product of the principal diagonal elements, okay. How can we verify it? So we can manually expand it and verify this property. So you note down this property because we will expand this determinant, okay. I will expand this determinant here. So let's see whether it will be equal to this product or not. So okay, let us expand this along first row. So that is, see A1 into, see leave this column and this row, B2 C3, see B2 C3 minus this will be 0, then minus A2 into, leave this column and this row, see this column and this row, so 0 into C3 0, 0 minus 0, it will be what, 0. Next plus A3 into, see this column and this row, this column and this row, so 0 into 0, 0, 0 minus 0, it will be what, 0. See delta is equal to, so this is 0 and this is 0, so only thing left is A1, B2, C3, see A1, B2, C3, this is nothing but product of principal diagonal elements, see product of principal diagonal elements. So this is the basic and very simple property, okay. See here, if okay, the property is over here. See if my determinant is like this, so let me write one example here, okay. These are, we know, diagonal elements, principal diagonal elements. See if these three elements are 0, okay, okay, I'll write this as 0, okay. This three, see here, upper half or one side, upper half of the principal diagonal elements are 0. So here what we have to do, no need to expand this determinant, just the property, according to the property, see seventh property, we are given the number, according to this property, value will be equal to what, product of the principal diagonal elements, that means this will be equal to 2 into 6, so what will the answer here, 4 6 are, say 24, because here on one side of the principal diagonal the elements are 0, so my answer is 24, okay. Let us verify this also if you have some doubt, okay. Let us clarify this. So let us expand this for verification purpose. Okay, delta is equal to, see 2 into, so leave this column and this row, so 6 is 12, see 12 minus 0 into 3, it will be what, 0. See here 0 zeros are there, so we can leave these two elements. So I will get what, 12 minus 0, 12, 12 2s are what, see 24, see 24 is equal to, so that's what we can, in such situations we can make use of this last property, okay. See in this class we have proved two properties. What are those two properties? We have given the number 6 and 7. So let me recall those two properties. So we need not worry about the statements, okay. If we write it one or two times, or we can take our own examples, we can understand the statement, okay, the property. So what is the summary of the sixth property? We have proved two properties, okay, sixth one and seventh. So this property says if we can apply on any row or column of a determinant. We can operate on any row or column. See, if I say this one, and that means if I apply on first row, so I will add every element of first row to corresponding elements of the third row and multiply the elements of third row by some other constant. Then value of the original determinant and value of the determinant after the operation, these two will be equal. Value will not be changed. Then just we have discussed the property, if in a determinant all the elements on one side of the principal diagonal elements are zeros, then value of the determinant will be equal to product of the principal diagonal elements. Okay, these two properties we have proved in this class. So there are 7 properties including today's these two properties. So you can practice the proofs and take your own examples. Okay, so in the next class I will try to work out some of the problems, or I will work out some problems on determinants by using these properties which we have proved so far. Okay, that we shall do it in our next class.